Welcome everybody, and today we are going to play Sactuary solo. Now, as you can see, I've already set up the game, so I will explain to you in detail how to set it up first. Normally I would do it step by step, but it's going to take too long, so it's easy just to tell you what I've done and how. Okay, first of all, when you decide to play solo, you are going to take 3 node cards. You see them here. Okay, the node cards, they look like this. Okay, and I'll put it back. And you will choose 3 lanes to put a node card. Now, we're playing on easy, so that basically means that there is no life placed on the node cards. If you want to play it at a higher level, difficulty level, you would place hearts on top of the nodes, so they're more difficult to kill. Okay, so that's one. We also chose 1 corruptor, which we chose, let's see if I can bring it over. Oh, it fell off. The Mantaora of the Depths, or whatever its name is. Here we go, Mantaora of the Depths. It has 2 attack, 2 life, and it has, what do you call it again? A veil, so it cannot be targeted by any abilities or enemy rituals. Also, you will be placing these tokens on it, but in the opposite order, like this. Okay, so why was it printed that way? I don't know. It's printed like this, but the rulebook says put it on like this. So yeah, it is what it is. So that's for the ones I've chosen. You also have the constructs. I have taken, it just says, the rulebook says take 4 constructs, and you do have the Land of Dusk and the Land of Dawn, who both have 2 sets of constructs. I just took 1 of each, so there's 4 different ones. So you can see Balulan, the Howling Seeker, is already out in the, well, I already put that one out. That's Balulan, the Howling Seeker. You can see he has 3 life, so I'm going to have to defeat him 3 times in order to be able to kill it, basically. Okay, now then you have to choose a faction. Now the faction I'm fighting against is Ganto. Okay, Ganto is solitaire and wise. The Ganto worship the essence of growth and possess the ability to shape the environment at their will. They share a deep connection with sanctuaries, interacting directly with their ages. Okay, now you do not use the leader. You do not use rituals or sanctuaries. You do take 3 cards to cover up where the sanctuaries normally are, but here this is a deck full of acolytes. Okay, and the rules on how you choose these acolytes are in the gigantically big manual that's here. See, it's so big I had to actually look for it. And you can see when you set it up, the solo part is in the back, that when you take any enemy deck, it already has listed what you need. Okay, these are all for each faction. You have which cards you need to take out. These are all acolytes, and rule of thumb is that they always have the Reaper attributes. Okay, so this is the Reaper attributes. Those cards are in there, but there are also cards in there which attack is equal or higher than its health. And then some factions, like the Ganto, only reach up to 12 cards then. So in the rulebook it has some other cards that you add here. Okay, so that's the Ganto that I'm fighting against. But for the solo, that is it. Also, you can see in the solo, there's only 2 rows. You have the nodes, but they don't actually do anything until you've defeated the corruptor a couple of times. They only have 1 row. And you might remember from the base game that normally you have 2 rows. One that's defensive, one that's offensive. So attacking and defending. But these units, any units that come out, they attack and defend at the same time. This is why the nodes are moved forward and the sanctuaries are covered. Okay, so that's enough for the AI at this point. So how do I set up? the usual, but there's one detail. There's only 3 lanes instead of 4, so I had to get rid of 1 sanctuary. But first I'll tell you who I'm playing with. I'm playing with the Antar. So mirages and subtle tricks are the secret of the Antar. Devoted to the essence of subjugation, their mind controlling abilities push the enemies to their limits, breaking their ranks and their morale. Alright, so I've never played with this one before. I have no idea what they do and how good or bad they are. The sanctuary I decided not to use is the Port of Savlar. At the end of your turn, you may return 1 of your units from the battlefield to your hand. That sounds pretty good, to be honest, but you know, you have to make choices. The one that I kept is the Palace of Truth. At the end of your turn, you may exhaust an enemy unit in attack position on a lane different from this one. And the Garden of the 5, your units in this lane gain 1 attack or 1 damage. Relic of the Eye, at the end of your turn, destroy an enemy acolyte on a lane different from this one, which would be really good to clear up space to be able to attack, of course. But it does say at the end of my turn, not at the start, so too bad. And just a quick reminder, these actions, these abilities only come into play once the chaos has been removed, and these go -1 every round at the end of the round. My champion is Vatep, the Judge of the Antar, who is a champion. She has only 1 damage, but 3 life. She does have an ongoing ability, and whoever she fights with will die. Whoever she damages will die. At the end of your turn, exhaust a unit. So a unit can be mine, could be somebody else's. So that is also handy. Okay, so that's the Antar who I'm playing with. Different from the main game is that when you start your turn, first of all, the enemy always starts, but when it's my turn, I'm going to get 3 crystals to start with instead of 2, but then every round that follows, I'm just going to get 2. Alright, so how does the first round specifically start? Well, the enemy, right, so this one is already active. So for sure, he's already going to damage my Garden of the 5. But regardless of that, when it's the enemy's turn, he's going to take 2 acolytes and put them in the available free spaces. So face up. Now this one, the Dogged Infiltrator, you can see he has a fist, which means zealous, which means he becomes active immediately. It also says you may deal 1 damage to a sanctuary and 1 damage to one of your sanctuaries. Now, in this case, there are no sanctuaries because there are nodes, so I imagine it doesn't kill a node. That would be really bad. So I guess it'll just damage me when it dies, because it has a skull. As you can see, the skull means last word. That means when it dies, it happens. Okay. But then potentially I could just block it the whole time, so I can never actually damage it. So then this last word ability wouldn't happen. Next one, it's another Dogged Infiltrator. I shuffled a lot, I swear. But, you know, these 2 came out. It is what it is. Okay. So on the turn structure for the solo enemy, it'll do exactly what it always does. It'll deploy the 2 acolytes, like I said. Now, let's say there's only 1 available option. It will deploy 1. Let's say it's already full. It will not deploy anything, but I would have to remove a card, remove the top card from my deck and put it in the game box, okay? Not this card, game box. So you lose it forever, which of course would be very damaging if it's a powerful one. Okay, so basically they'll come out, then the attack phase will happen as normal. If they can damage my sanctuaries, they will. If they cannot, if there's a person here blocking, they will fight the person. If there's no sanctuary and no person and the attack comes through, I will have to discard a card. Okay, so that will happen as usual, and the end of the turn is also usual. They will become active if they are not, and any partial damage is just removed and they're back. They're healthy again. So what else is special about the solo game? Now you can see this construct has 3 life. if I manage to kill the construct, it will not go away. It will just lose 1 health. That's it. So then I would have to kill it again, lose 1 health, kill again, lose 1 health. Now, spoiler alert, the other constructs, you can see this one has 2 life. There's one with 1 life, and there's one with no extra lives. So you see that they're actually face up as well, so it doesn't really matter. But that's what happens. So if you want to win, you need to destroy the nodes, you need to destroy all of the constructs, and destroy the corruptor. Now, how can you reach the corruptor? It's all the way over there. Now, luckily, that's pretty straightforward. Whenever I kill, or you kill an acolyte, the acolyte obviously goes away, but then the corruptor will come out. And you can see it has the token, it will be active, and it will immediately be activated. Let's put it like that. So let's say it comes out here, and let's say I kill it then. Then the leftmost token, which in this case is the +1, will move up and be placed on the node here. And this one will go away, and the corruptor will be placed in its place. So we've killed it once now. If you want to kill the corruptor, you need to kill it 2 more times. Then it has lost its icons, and then kill it again, and then you're done. Okay? Now, let's say you have this token here now, and let's say this guy comes out again later, which is technically impossible. There's only 2 copies, but whatever. A new acolyte comes out. This one now has +1 attack because it's in the lane of the node. Now, let's say this one comes out again, and he's defeated again. This one will replace this one. Okay, there can only be 1 on a node. There cannot be multiple ones. Also, very important detail, very easy to forget, is whenever the corruptor is defeated and there are constructs in the game, these guys, so these guys here, right, if they're in the game, they're in the action like now, they would get a +1 heart 1, so they would become healthier. They'll get 1 extra life, not life, 1 extra health and 1 extra damage on top of them. Okay, so this guy, of course, if the corruptor keeps coming out and I keep killing him and he still stays alive because he has 3 lives, he might get very, very powerful, which of course is dangerous, and you want to try and avoid that. Okay, all right, so I think that covers most, if not all, of the rules of the solo game, right? So the constructs, I said, you have to defeat all of them. Nodes have to be destroyed, all of them, and the corruptor also has to die. So once you've decided, not decided, of course you've decided, once you've managed to do all of that, then you can move on, and move on. And you can be happy you won the game. All right, so let's start the game, shall we? They already got their cards as usual, so they will now attack. They have no defense. You can say, of course, that's unfair. Well, I guess life is unfair. And of course, I could have drawn 2 other guys that wouldn't have activated. And you know in advance, this one is going to damage your Sanctuary, so you might as well put 1 there with more life. So this one damages my Sanctuary for 1. This one damages my Sanctuary for 2. And this one damages my Sanctuary for 1. Alright, then it is my turn. I gain 3 crystals because it's the first turn. After that, I no longer get 3. Okay. Now, next I will draw 4 cards. Okay, now, some factions, they can have more than 4. They have sanctuaries that would give them more than 4, but I do not have this, so my hand limit is 4. So I've never seen these cards before, alright? So we're in this together. I have 1 gifted blade dancer who costs 1 crystal, an acolyte, an ongoing action. If there are at least 2 exhausted units on the battlefield, this unit gains +2. Now remember, I could always put in my champion but she's exhausted. Okay, she will not come in active. And then at the end of the turn, I could exhaust a unit, which would help towards his, if there's at least 2 exhausted units on the battlefield, this unit gets +2. But these actions, they already happen when you play it. Okay, so even though he will be exhausted, if I put him down, this already activates. Okay, so I guess he counts himself as well. But then of course, once it's my turn again later on, he'll activate. Okay, never mind. All right, next is Inscrutable Queens, also an acolyte, 2 damage, 2 health. Draw a card for each exhausted enemy unit on this lane. So potentially I could play him first and then play her and then be able to draw a card. Okay, and this means the action happens instantly and she is also active. So I could immediately use her to kill him, for example. But he has 2 damage, so he would kill her as well. And then we have Overwhelm, which is free and also exhaust a unit. Once again, counts towards him. And then Revenge of the Sisterhood, deal X amount of damage to a unit where X is equal to the number of exhausted units on the battlefield. So I guess the Antar really like exhaustion. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what this area is for, but why not just put this here so we know who I am fighting with, right? And I put the things a bit older, higher. And we'll put the Gantor one here because the solo does not use any crystals. Okay, everything they place is free. All right, so what am I going to do? The fact that this one will activate at the end of my turn means that whoever I place will be exhausted, will not be exhausted next round, so will not count towards him. But of course, if I activate some of these guys, if I exhaust some of these guys, then they won't be able to attack next round, which is of course really good. So I'm going to play Overwhelm, exhaust the unit, and I'm going to exhaust the construct. Now, when it's exhausted, it cannot defend. So I immediately be able to kill a node this way. But of course, remember, even if I kill all the nodes, all that does is, well, I still have to kill the corruptor and the construct. But of course, the nodes will not be able to strengthen whichever rows are in front of them. So I'm going to keep it like this. Then I will put him here. And then... So this would cost 1, but I'm thinking actually I could put her as a defense because he'll attack and then he'll basically kill himself. Yeah, I'll put her, so he's exhausted still. Alright, so it costs 1, so up. Then I play her here, she's not exhausted, but I pay 1 and I get to draw a card. And then another ritual, which is once again good because that means these 2 will not activate, so they cannot attack my sanctuaries. So I'm gonna play another ritual. So this is exhausted, and I could play Revenge of the Sisterhood, which would mean that I would do 3 damage to a unit. And I think I'm going to do that because... Okay, so I changed the lights because I didn't realize you couldn't really see this card. It's a little bit darker now, but at least we know what's going on, right? So, as I was saying, I'm going to play this because it'll do 3 damage and I can kill the construct once already. Even though maybe I should save it because it's only 1 life, but I think it's just better to get it out of the way. So yeah, I'm gonna use it. It's free. 3 damage to the construct. It loses 1 life. So this goes away. Yep. None. So that is the end of my turn. Okay. So we go from left to right always. Okay. So but they would actually, I did it wrong the first round. This one was supposed to attack first. I'll turn it around, left to right, and now it's left to right. So this one activates, but does not attack. This one is already active, but it's just defense now. And so actually would have been better for me to just swap these two. It's too late now. Table sticks, right? So this one, nothing happens here. So then my chaos goes down one spot everywhere. All right. And then it's their turn. Now, because I didn't do anything here, I didn't remove anything, I get a penalty and one of my cards is removed. So from the game, so I'll just put it here and then we will continue. All right. Next for them is, because they're not drawing anything, they are just going to attack again. Okay. And I was actually a quick note that I'll just put in the beginning as well, but I'll remind everyone as well that I have to kill everybody here as well. So it's not just the corruptor and the nodes, it's actually the corruptor, the nodes, and all the acolytes. Very important detail that I missed there. So anyway, this one attacks again, goes down to 2 life. This one, nothing happens, but he becomes active. All right. This one, nothing happens, but he becomes active. So back to my turn. I get 2 crystals and I draw up to 4. So 4 new cards. All right, so we have Hand of Vatep, which is at the end of my turn, I can deal 1 damage to a Sanctuary. The Sisterhood Novice, well, Sanctuary. I guess, does this become useless then, or is it replaced by a node? Because nodes typically don't have a lot of life. So I'll show you what it says in the rulebook, because when it comes down to nodes, you can decide how much life. So normal is just 1 life, difficult is 3 of them, which is not a lot, right? So if I would be allowed to use her, that means I just have to survive 5 rounds and all the nodes are gone. Is that supposed to be? Now I'm just gonna go off of words, and sanctuaries are not nodes. So I think this card is officially useless because she does no damage. So yeah, I don't really know what that is. Great for a solo playthrough. She's difficult to keep alive though, because she's kind of useless. So I guess we'll say that sanctuaries can be nodes. Nodes are a kind of sanctuary. Otherwise, playing, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Sisterhood Novice, exhaust a unit, as usual. Swift Striker. Exhaust unit happens when she dies. Swift Striker means nothing can target him, and the Reaper means whoever he attacks, or whenever he's in a battle, the other person dies for sure, even if he doesn't have enough damage. And this means gain 2 crystals if at least 1 enemy unit is exhausted. Okay, so let's see. All these cards are pretty cheap. This one is going to attack him, but he will kill him and he will survive. So that's one thing that's already good. She will defend. She will get attacked by him later on, so he will die and he loses another life, but he's not completely dead yet. So I need to start defending these. So I can put her, well, I should put her somewhere where I can, yeah, I don't know. Let's make it more difficult for myself. Let's say I cannot use it on a node. Okay, I feel like this would be way too easy, because you just put her somewhere where they can't reach her, and then, or yeah, I don't know. Would she be difficult to keep alive though? I think she's difficult to keep alive, because even if you attack, she will attack, she won't do damage, but they'll do damage to her and she dies. So I think the only time that she can do it once and she's dead. So I think I'll keep her anyway. Of course, she's exhausted for now, so I'll put it here for free. None of these actually activate, so they all activate later. So it basically means these 2 will get another hit at them, which of course is sad. Let's see. Well, I might as well just populate this. This will cost 1 crystal. Yep. this one, I'll put him here as a defender, cost 1 crystal. And this one, I'm not going to play him because he gained 2 crystals if at least one enemy unit is exhausted, but no enemy unit. Okay, had a little camera problem, so I'll give you a quick recap of what happened last turn. So basically these are the ones that I set up, okay? I was able, one of these guys, so the Dogged Infiltrator, right, and who you see here, he attacked the Swift Striker, but of course did not have enough damage to kill him, so he killed himself, basically, and that allowed the Corruptor to come out. Everything else, he got killed once more by the Gifted Blade Dancer, who had +2 attack. And then the Dogged Infiltrator killed my Hand of Vatap, but my Hand of Vatap also killed a node over there. So also very important to realize, when units are exhausted and you do the attack phase, you do the attack phase completely and then they become active. Okay, sometimes it's important, especially for like the Gifted Blade Dancer, who gets +2 attack for exhausted units. Okay, so now it's my turn again. I last turn decided not to use him because there were no exhausted units, but now once again there are no exhausted units, so his bonus of 2 crystals isn't that useful at the moment because there's no exhausted units. Okay. Revenge of the Sisterhood means I can deal 1 damage to, well, deal X amount of damage to a unit, where X is equal to the exhausted units on the battlefield, but there are none. Also, I should mention that now every unit in here has +1 attack, which is also good. And then we have the Sisterhood Matriarch, which is a really nice card. She has an ability, she immediately activates, but you have to put her in the attack position. So it says exhaust each other unit on this lane. Enemy units with that ability that normally cannot be changed by or affected by other things, they are exhausted also. Oh, and that reminds me, actually, I think I cheated because I killed him once with a card, which I was not allowed to do because he's protected from rituals and so on. So I was not allowed to do that. So silly me, I can only kill him hand-to-hand, basically, hand-to-hand combat. Okay, so exhaust each other unit on this lane. Enemy units with the Veil are exhausted also. Then we have the Mind Poisoner, the Acolyte. It exhausts a unit both when played and both when it is killed. Okay, so you can exhaust any unit. Alright, very important. So, my champion is going to attack the Corruptor. That's going to happen for sure, which means that they will kill each other because they both have the Reaper icon. So that means the +1 will go to the node and this will become free, which is good to know. So I think I'll keep the Sisterhood Matriarch because there will be an opening coming soon. The Mind Poisoner is good for defense, so I'm going to put it here. That costs me 1. Here we go. But also it allows me to exhaust a unit. So once again, I will exhaust him just to stop him from attacking. And then we now do have an enemy unit, but I have no space to play the Ruthless Trader. So I'm just going to keep my hand here. And of course keep my hands. I don't want to live without my hands. Okay, so now I'm going to attack my Vatep, Judge of the Antar Champion. She attacks and she loses, but it doesn't matter because they have the Reaper symbol. Both of them have it, so they kill each other. Now the Vatep, like I said, we play with an Echo, so now it is ongoing. At the end of my turn, if at least 1 enemy unit is exhausted, you may draw a card. Okay, so I'm going to be able to draw a card, but it says you may. I probably will not. I'm going to put it here, better to see. I probably will not. Simple fact that oh no, I probably will. I have 3 cards. I thought I was at maximum cards. So these die. So the leftmost token is removed. He goes back. and it goes here, and also because he's dead, a corruptor comes out, and this corruptor becomes stronger, and the corruptor also comes out inactive because he doesn't have the symbol, the zealous symbol, but he has 2 life, which of course makes it more difficult for me to kill. This one now also has 2 life, which also makes it more difficult. Okay, so this lane is done. This one attacks. There are more than 2 exhausted units on the battlefield, so he has 3 damage, plus 1 here, 4 damage. So he kills him once. This one gets attacked by the Sisterhood Novice. He dies. She does not die, because he only does 1 damage. He has 2 life. He dies, and because he dies, he deals 1 damage to one of my sanctuaries, so he's going to kill this sanctuary, because, as I said before, I should choose the worst possible outcome for myself. So the Palace of Truth is gone. I guess it was a lie. Boo. Anyway, so that's gone. I'll put it here as well. And then, because this is defeated, the corruptor once again comes out, but now he is on the right. I'm saying he, I should say it. There's a bunch of snakes. Okay, so that is the end of my turn. I check any end of turn stuff. Well, first activate this one, move this forward, and then end of turn. No, here at the end of my turn, if at least 1 enemy unit is exhausted, there are 2, I get to draw a card. Alright, and that is Touch of the Gifted Activated Unit. Oh, that's nice. Alright, anyway, it's their turn. They cannot place anyone, so once again, one of my cards is burned, removed from the game forever. Well, in this session anyway. Now, the other player, the AI, they cannot place anyone. Start their turn. They attack. These ones cannot attack. This one attacks. It attacks the Mind Poisoner Acolyte. So it does 2 damage. It has 3 health, but it has the Reaper symbol, so it kills it. But because it kills, it exhausts the unit, and it's going to exhaust the... but it cannot exhaust it because it has this icon. So... was I allowed to exhaust this one? Probably not. So this one is just going to attack as well. So exhausting a unit is impossible. This one would have attacked as well. So he kills her. Yeah. And she kills him. So he has 3 attack, 2 life. So yeah, he'll also lose another life. Okay. So that's done. That was pretty devastating, but at least they didn't touch my sanctuaries. Okay. All right. Another one of my turns, but I have 4 cards already, so I draw nothing. There's only one. Oh yeah, and this one gets activated. So they're pretty strong now. If I kill him, I make both of them stronger, which is very dangerous. I really need to get rid of this guy. And at the moment, he will not die because he only does 1 damage. So I need to have 2 units that are exhausted. But, very important, not important, no. I could say I could exhaust it from here, but it's not because these are protected. So I have to play the Sisterhood Matriarch to be able to exhaust someone. So I play her. Okay, I've changed cameras now, because the previous camera kept turning off for some reason. This is really one of my most special solo playthroughs. Anyway, so I get 2 crystals. We're starting my turn. And I play the Sisterhood Matriarch, like I said, so I pay 1 crystal. She activates immediately, and she exhausts each other unit on this lane. So both of these are exhausted. So it gives him his +3, which he will need to kill this guy once and for all, so he'll be gone finally. Then I can also place him. I'll place him here So he gives me 2 crystals because it says if at least one enemy unit is exhausted. So yep, boom boom. And let's see. I could activate a unit, but that doesn't do much. So these 2 I'm just gonna keep, because this one is only good when acolytes come out, which has hardly happened now. And the ritual activated unit, I guess I could activate him, but why? It's not necessary. He's gonna activate anyway. So yeah, no, I'll keep it. End of my turn. Right. So attack from left to right. This one does not attack him because he's exhausted. He skips it. He kills a node. So that's 2 nodes gone. I mean, I'm saying he. It's a she. She kills the node. Up. Then the acolyte has +2 damage, so it's 3 damage because of the 2 exhausted. And it's actually 3 exhausted, so +2 and +1, 4 damage. He does 3 damage actually to him, so he's dead now. Yeah, so he does kill him. He dies in a blaze of glory, but at least this one is dead forever. So put him in the box as well. Up. And then she attacks him, kills him, because 2 and 2, but then he in turn kills her as well. So she's gone, but because of the fact that she's gone, she can exhaust a unit, but she's not going to. Well, it says exhaust unit, so I guess I have to. I guess I can exhaust her, but then at the end of my turn, she will be activated again. He also dies. Normally he would put a token here, but there's nothing there, so he goes away. He goes all the way over here again, and in its place, and this one becomes stronger. He gets a +1/+1 because he died, and the new one comes out, which is exhausted. He has 4/4, which is really strong, but no extra lives, so at least there's that. And then everything that remains gets activated, everything that's exhausted, and then any end of turn stuff happens. If at least one enemy unit is exhausted, I can draw a card. There is one, and I only have 2 cards. There's actually 2 of them. And it's another one for money, another Ruthless Trader. Then this goes down. Oh, I can almost use it. All right, their turn. For once, there's an empty space, so this guy comes out, which is a Hermit Landscaper. Repair up to 1 shield on each of your sanctuaries, which I guess in this case there's no life to begin with, so it's useless. You cannot bring a dead back to life. That's actually, it says actually in the rules, if something like that happens, it still needs to be there. You're not going to rebuild something that's broken. So yeah, that's them. Then their turn happens, of course. Nothing happens this time. They just all activate and they don't actually attack. So my turn, I get 2 crystals. I'm getting really rich here, but then no cards to spend it on because all these cards are 0 or very cheap. Another one. 2 Touch of the Gifted, a Ruthless Trader, and Revenge of the Sisterhood. So Revenge of the Sisterhood I can use on the Hermit Landscaper, but then the Corruptor will come out again. Okay. I'm gonna place I'm gonna place him. He doesn't give me any money this time, but I don't really need it anyway. I'm gonna place him here for free. Then I'm going to. The problem is these activated units are not handy now. And the extra unit where X is the number of exhausted units on the battlefield, there's only 1. So I can only do 1 damage. But 1 damage can weaken something, but then this one only does 2 damage, so it's not enough. Unless, of course, I don't put him here. But then he will do 4 damage and completely obliterate the relic, which I don't want either. Because this is a really good one. And the relic, I mean the sanctuary. Okay, I guess that's all I'm doing. So, over to the attack phase then. which will hurt me actually. The Acolyte does 2 damage, but the Eternal Watcher has 3/3, so she gets killed, sadly. So, and nothing happens to him. He's just alive. This one, nothing happens here, nothing happens here. This one activates, so I'm basically in full defense at the moment. Their turn, they destroy 1 card of mine. It's not looking good, guys. Then they attack, 2 damage. Killed 3 damage, 3/3 actually, but luckily he's a Reaper, so even though he dies, he also loses a life. So at least that's good. Oh yeah, this is activated now because my turn ended. Here, 3 damage, only 1 life, so he is dead, but he kills her as well, or him, sorry. But because he killed him, the Corruptor comes out again. Here he is. Then this one attacks him, he dies. Wow, okay. My turn, I get 2 crystals. I have so many crystals and nothing to use them on, it's ridiculous. And I'm running out of cards. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to get 4, only get... but I could have discarded at the end of my turn. So I'm gonna get rid of... I'm gonna get rid of all 3. No. I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of the activated unit ones. Although these are handy now. But then that's hindsight, right? That's not supposed to happen. I guess I'll be honest and just take 1. Damn honesty. It's a Swift Striker, at least, so he is going to take someone out. Now if I take out the Manticore of the Deaths, these 2 become really strong. Like 3 damage, 5 damage. So I don't want that. I actually want to take out this guy. So I'm going to put him here and pay 1 crystal. And he is not active, but then I use this to activate him. And then the other things are useless. So I'm going to keep this. And then I'm going to attack. So 2 damage. Of course he dies, but so does he. So at least that's 1. There's only 1 construct left, at least. And then at the end of my turn, destroy an enemy acolyte on a lane different from this one. There is no enemy acolyte. Units, this thing gets +1, doesn't matter. There's nobody exhausted, so back to their turn, which they will draw 1. He does not activate, but it's a Visionary Reclaimer. At the end of your turn, if a ritual or an ability dealt damage to one of your sanctuaries, gain 1 crystal. Well, that's irrelevant. But it is a Reaper, so... Left to right. 2 damage, so I lose a card. That's just discard. 2 damage, up, and then activate. On my turn, I get to draw 2 cards, get 2 crystals. Aha, finally something that costs money. So I have Guardian of the Relics, gain 1 crystal for each enemy exhausted unit on the battlefield, which is nothing. Mind Poisoner exhausts a unit, but there's just 1 unit there that I could exhaust. That would be something. And I can put this out and activate him immediately, which would take 1 life off the construct. But then the construct will kill him. But he'd only have 1 life left. And okay, I can see this. Alright, so I put him here. Which exhausts a unit, which will be this one. Pay 1. Then I put him here, which costs 3. And I gain 1 for each enemy exhausted unit, so I get 1 back. Then I play Touch of the Gifted, so I activate him. So he's activated now. And then deal damage to the unit where X is the equal number of exhausted units on the battlefield. So it's 2, so I deal damage to him. So he dies. Done. Alright. So then my attack happens. 3 damage. He's dead. But he kills him. So he's gone. This one has lost 1 life, but still alive. And nothing happens, is activated. It doesn't make much sense that I put him here, but whatever. Enemy turn. Hermit Landscaper again. So attack, I lose a card. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this one. 2 damage, destroyed. And then activated, I get to draw 4 cards, which is exactly 4. Which means from now on, every time it's my turn, Sanctuary is destroyed. So I'm 100% dead. Oh my goodness, this was not a good one. And now all my good cards come out, but it's too little too late. Alright, so Fervent Speaker, activate a unit, Untangled Sellsword, he has to attack. Gifted Blade Dancer with exhausted units, he gets +2, and then Guardian of the Relics, so yeah. Well, I might as well make sure that I kill some people, right? So I'll put him here for 3. And I get 2, so I'll spend 1 for 3. I'll place him here for another 1. And I'll play the Fervent Speaker here. And I can activate a unit, which will be him. Should be him. There you go. And actually no, this one's gonna go here. I'm gonna put this one here for 1 as a defender. Alright. Well, it doesn't really make much sense to put him here, to be honest. Okay, then I attack. Left to right. 3. He's gone. Well, he attacks, but nothing happens, but he actually dies. And then he can exhaust the unit, so it exhausts him. So, they all activate. Up. Enemy turn. At the end of my turn, inoculate on a different line, doesn't matter. Son of the Flood comes out, but he's passive. So the attack, nothing. This one attacks, and I don't know why I swapped them out. He kills this one, done. And then that one activates, and then I have to destroy a Sanctuary, and I'm dead. Alright, so the first time I played this solo, I won. But then I was the Molran against the Crass. And it was easier because the Molran does a lot of damage, has a lot of units doing damage. Here, with the, what was it again? I forgot the name. The Antar. It's, I would say more specialized. Also, let's see which cards that were destroyed. Sisterhood Novice, Sisterhood Matriarch. Oh, okay. Hand of Vatep, Inscrutable Queens, Fervent Speaker. Maybe not that good. I don't know. I just didn't get over the hump with the Corruptors and the... yeah. Well, this is how the solo game plays. Hope it wasn't too jumbled. I'll try to do another video and this was easy, you know. So once again, you're supposed to kill the nodes, all of the nodes, and then you're supposed to kill the whole deck and the corruptor. So the whole deck, I mean, it would have taken me ages. Look at this. They haven't even come out, all of these. And yeah, so impossible for me now. Now, I have to say, I do remember when I did win the last time, the corruptor with 3 lives ended up coming out last. So that makes it a lot easier as well. But you know, you gotta be lucky with the cards in your hand, and I don't know. With this one, yeah, too bad. Well, this is it. I hope you enjoyed the solo playthrough. Like I said, this will not be the only one. I'll do a new one soon, hopefully with a better camera. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. That's it. This was So Many Games, So Little Time. My name was Joachim, and oh, whoa. One last thing that I forgot to say. The game has foil cards, right? These are the foil cards. But as you can see, if I put them down, it's more difficult to see the icons. So that's why I did not use the foil cards, alright? Because they're quite dark. They're not very shiny. They're shiny, but a bit too dark. If you play in person, I think it's doable, you know. But the regular ones are way clearer. So for example, you see the difference, right? It's way more difficult to see this one. See? So yeah. Okay. That was it. My name was Joachim. This was So Many Games, So Little Time. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.